Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coaster News. And let's just get straight into the news today. As always, we've got some amazing and incredible news from various different theme parks, rides and attractions from all over the world. So let's just get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Chessington World of Adventures has officially reopened for the 2022 season. And we have been waiting for this for obviously 4 months now, and it's obviously amazing to see the theme parks are starting to reopen back up again. Obviously, I think Chessington is probably the first Merlin park to fully reopen this season. Obviously, Alton Towers had their February half-term event last month. Legoland's had Brick Week. Fort Park doesn't really have anything during the close season. So I think Chessington is the first one to sort of fully reopen. Obviously, Chessington, they had a smaller event last month called February, which is like a closed season event where some of the rides are open. But they have officially fully reopened yesterday, actually. And obviously, we've been waiting for this day for a long time. Obviously, as for how the park has operated, loads of them, obviously, like on opening day, most of the rides some of the rides were unavailable because of like technical issues. Obviously, Storm Eunice, which was about a month ago now, that caused a lot of delays in the usual maintenance. So obviously, that was a delay, and so some of the rides were not available. I think the rides that were unavailable were Dragon's Fury, the Gruffalo rides. I'm not sure what the other two were. There were 4 rides that were unavailable on opening day, but it's great to see that Chessington has fully reopened back up, and obviously they have put up like construction walls for around Project Amazon, with new signs saying that our wildest adventure ever is growing, and they put signs around it saying Chessington 2023. So that's definitely a sign that they're building it. I mean, obviously, they approved the plans for that ride a couple of months ago. But until then, Chessington has reopened for the entire full 2022 season. Obviously, they've got the most events that they've ever had this season. They've got the new Mardi Gras event, which is starting in May. Obviously, they've got Wilderfest, which is returning for this year. Obviously, they've got Halloween and Winter's Tale. Plus, I think February, which might be coming next year, you never know. But obviously, it's a full year of events, and obviously they've actually got a couple of new rides opening this season. There's 2 new rides, 2 new flat rides opening in the Pirates Cove area. I think they're retheming that area. Well, not retheming it, but renaming it to something else. That's why I saw something about it. But they've got 2 new rides opening later this year. I think it's going to open like the summer or something like that. And obviously, until then, Sea Storm is having a massive refurbishment, just like the Blue Barnacle did. So that's probably going to have a different name when that reopens. So it's looking to be a great season for Chessington this year. And I cannot wait for all the things to happen, such as the events and new rides opening. So I really can't wait for that. In other news today, Emperor has officially opened at SeaWorld San Diego. And this is obviously a ride that we've been waiting for a long time. It literally opened the day after I did the last Coaster News episode. It opened literally one day after Iron Gwazi did. It opened on Saturday the 12th of March, so less than a week ago at the time of the recording. So obviously I reported about how Iron Gwazi opened 1 week ago today, and now Emperor has opened 6 days ago. So they've opened one day within each other, and that means that any enthusiasts that are probably wanting to go on both on opening days, I don't know how it'd be physically possible, but they'd have to get from Florida all the way over to California, which is on the opposite side of the country, in one day. But it's open now. It's actually, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Emperor is a B&M Dive Coaster located at SeaWorld San Diego in California. It was supposed to open in 2020, like Iron Gwazi and Icebreaker and Pantheon. Obviously, because of COVID, they got delayed until 2021, and then because of financial issues in the aftermath of COVID, they got delayed until this year, and obviously Emperor has opened last Saturday, and a lot, from what I've heard, it's an incredible ride. Obviously there was actually a point last decade, yeah, you heard me, last decade, where SeaWorld San Diego were building a roller coaster each and every year. It started with the Electric Eel roller coaster, which is a premier ride, Skyrocket 2. Then they built that was in 2018. Then they built Tidal Twister in 2019, which is like a Skyline Attractions single rail coaster. I don't know which one it is. And then obviously Emperor was supposed to open in 2020, but for some reason when they announced it, they said it was going to be called Mako, which is the same name as the B&M Hypercoaster at SeaWorld Orlando. But then, not long after it was announced, they changed the name to Emperor, and they themed it to the obviously the Emperor Penguin, which is known for diving down, hence it being a dive coaster. Obviously, it got delayed twice, and now it's been opened this season, this year. And from what I've heard, a lot of people love it. It's actually the first dive coaster in California, and it looks absolutely incredible. And weirdly, these miniature, it's this one, in case you didn't know, Emperor is like kind of sort of like a medium scale dive coaster. It's not like some of the new ones which are massive dive coasters. I think the last massive dive coaster was built was probably Yukon Striker at Canada's Wonderland. That's at like 223 foot tall. Emperor's only 155 foot tall, but apparently it packs quite a punch. That's what weird thing I've heard about these miniature dive coasters, is that they can sometimes be more exhilarating and fun than larger ones. Because we actually have a miniature dive coaster over here in the UK with Oblivion at Alton Towers. That was actually the world's first dive coaster by B&M, and it opened. No, I think it opened in the same year as Diving Machine G5 in Taiwan. But obviously, since then, the dive coaster has evolved a lot more to have longer layouts and even inversions. And since then, they've literally built massive ones that are over 200 foot tall. So it's just gotten huge. And obviously, some are still small, like Baron 1898 and Valkyria at Liseberg, and Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego. But apparently, some of them are a lot more thrilling than the larger ones. I'm just hoping one day the UK gets another B&M dive coaster, because the last one was in 1998 with Oblivion. That was the first and only B&M dive coaster in Britain. Obviously, I think B&M are returning to the UK next year with Project Amazon at Chessington, which is going to be a B&M winged coaster with a launch and a backwards layout with inversions. So that's going to be the most unique coaster at Chessington. It's built by B&M. So I'm just hoping this is the beginning of B&M's return to the UK, because the last one they built was the Swarm at Fort Park. I was literally supposed to be talking about Emperor, and now I've gone on to B&M's return to the UK. I'm so sorry. So yeah, Emperor has opened at SeaWorld San Diego, and it looks great. I hope this means that there's a bright future for SeaWorld San Diego in the near future. Also in the news today, Alton Towers have announced a new Retrosquad ride to be replacing Mixtape, called Spinjam, for the 2022 season. And this is news that we were not expecting at all. It's basically last month, you don't know, but last month, Alton Towers announced that two of their Retrosquad rides, Roller Disco and Funk and Fly, that were from last season, would be returning this year, because basically they're not like permanent flat rides. They are owned by different showmen of different travelling fun fairs across the UK. So Alton Towers just kind of sort of rents them every single year, and during the off season they go to travelling fun fairs. Funk and Fly and Roller Disco are returning this year, but Mixtape apparently isn't, which is very sad news. It does exist, but it's in a different travelling fun fair somewhere. But obviously, literally yesterday, Alton Towers announced that there were a lot of rumours after Alton Towers announced that Mixtape wasn't returning, because we thought it was going to be like quite a cryptic message that they'd sent, saying that Mixtape is currently on another mission somewhere and will keep you updated. That's what they said. Everyone thought that Mixtape was going to return later on in the year. But instead, Alton Towers have announced a new ride called Spinjam. We didn't really know what it was, although I saw a video of a ride that apparently is going to be Spinjam, and that just looks insane. I'm not sure what type of ride it's called, but I'm going to put a video up here of the rides that is going to be Spinjam apparently, and that just looks insane. I'm not sure if it's going to open immediately on the opening day, which is actually tomorrow. It might. I don't know. I've not seen any construction updates. But it could open tomorrow, or it could open later in the season. We don't know. It looks like it might open tomorrow. We just can't wait. We'll just wait and see. But obviously, it's the fourth Retrosquad ride to ever be built. Obviously, last year Alton Towers had actually rented 4 temporary flat rides. Obviously, there were the 3 Retrosquad rides, and there was Flavio's Fabulous Fandango at the World of David Williams, which is actually returning this season. Obviously, and Mixtape isn't returning this season, but it's now being replaced by a new ride called Spinjam, which looks to be absolutely incredible and thrilling, and I can't wait to get on it. I think this is like the first one to be built at Alton Towers, although to be honest, all the Retro rides are completely new for Alton Towers. But they look absolutely incredible, and I wonder if Alton Towers will do this each season, because obviously in the teaser video that they released for the Retrosquads last year, there was an animated scene where there was a robot pressing the buttons for Funk and Fly, Mixtape and Roller Disco, but on that were a few other different names for other rides. So this is probably hinting that the ride lineup for the Retrosquad might change each season. I mean, it has this season with only Funk and Fly and Roller Disco returning with the new one, Spinjam, so it might change each season. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And finally, in the news today, Drayton Manor reveals their new Vikings themed land for the 2022 season. And Drayton Manor, honestly, their investment is just going wild. They literally opened a new themed area last year. I mean, bearing in mind these new themed areas are like re-themes of already existing areas, but with some new rides. They literally added a new themed area last year with Adventure Cove, where they basically refurbished Shockwave, Stormforce 10, Maelstrom, which is a Zampella giant swing. I'm not sure what ride it's called, and they reopened the Rapids ride, which had been closed since 2017. And also they added a new ride called Wave Swinger, which just looks absolutely amazing. They've obviously added a lot more new theming in that area, and it's a lot more fresh and vibrant than it was before. And now this year, they're adding another new area. This time it's themed to Vikings, and the area itself is literally called Vikings. Basically, they're installing 3 new rides. They're re-theming the Buffalo Coaster, which is an already existing roller coaster. They'll probably advertise that as a new roller coaster. We don't know. They're adding 3 new rides. One's a Zampella Disco. There's another that's a Zampella Nebulaz. It's the first one in the UK. I'm not sure what the other one was. Basically, the new rides are themed to various different Norse gods. There's one themed to Thor. I think that might be the Zampella Disco. I'm not sure. The Zampella Nebulaz is themed to Loki. I'm not sure what they're retheming the Buffalo Coaster to, or the other rides. And they're adding a new restaurant in that area as well. So it looks like a great season for Drayton Manor. I mean, I'm probably most excited for the Zampella Nebulaz, which is the first one in the UK. That ride type is quite fairly new. It was only introduced in like 2018 or 2019, around that time. So it's quite recent. It's the first one in the UK, and it looks absolutely thrilling. I can't wait to go on. It's obviously themed to the God of Mischief, Loki, and it's definitely a fitting ride to go with that theme. And hopefully I'll one day go to Drayton Manor and experience the Vikings area. Obviously, that's probably the most unique rides in that area, because obviously there's Zampella Disco. We've seen that before at like Chessington and Blackpool Pleasure Beach and whatnot. Obviously, the other rides. I think it's like I'm not sure what it is. It's like a little car ride type thing. I don't know what it's called. But I think we've seen that in the UK before in different theme parks. So that the Loki rides, the Zampella Nebulaz, is completely unique to the UK, and it looks incredible. Obviously, construction is progressing at a rapid pace. I'm not sure if it's going to open on the opening day, which I think is later this month. I think it might open in probably like the summer. I don't know. it could open this season on the opening day. I think it's later this month or April. I'm not sure when Drayton Manor opens actually. But based on the concept art, they've got like a lot to do. There's a lot of theming in that area. Because obviously the Looping Group purchased Drayton Manor in 2020. Because Drayton Manor were basically, since 2017 or 18, they were really suffering. Basically, there were the Rapids rides. There was an accident on that. I'm not really going to talk about it because I don't really like to talk about things like that on this channel. But obviously that happened, and G-Force, which was one of their roller coasters, stopped at the top of the lift hill, which was an upside down lift hill. So obviously that caused eventually the standing but not operating status of G-Force, followed by its removal in 2019. The Rapids ride was SB&O up until last season, where it reopened with new safety measures and new theming. But obviously since then, Drayton Manor were in some serious trouble. Obviously, COVID didn't help. I think in that season they had a fire in one of the buildings in Thomasland, and they also were flooded as well. So it's not great. But obviously the Looping Group purchased them in 2020. And they have stated that they want to make Drayton Manor their flagship theme park. And they've proven that already by building Adventure Cove with various new rides. Well, one new ride, Wave Swing, and the rest of them are just rethemed. And a new Vikings area, which has got 3 new rides, plus a new restaurant and the retheming of the Buffalo Coaster. So the future is definitely very bright for Drayton Manor. And on top of that, they also announced that they have very big plans for next year. I'm not sure if it has to do with the Viking area or if it's somewhere else. It might be a new Fiends Lands, although they said it's a very big project, so it could be potentially a new roller coaster. We don't know. I mean, Chessington are wanting to go down the family thrill market. I think they might do what Alton Towers have done, because currently the only sort of big thrilling are Shockwave and Apocalypse. Shockwave obviously being the Intamin stand-up coaster, and Apocalypse being the drop tower. I think Apocalypse was rumoured to be closing at some point. I don't think it's closed just yet. I'm hoping they don't close it because it looks like a great ride. Shockwave, that's their only current thrill roller coaster. So maybe they might. I mean, you don't know. They've got mostly family rides. I'm thinking they might go. I'm thinking they're wanting to go on the same sort of thrill level as Alton Towers, where it has a mix between big thrill rides and rides that are fun for all the family. I'm hoping to do that because that would be amazing. I mean, it's literally located in the same county as Alton Towers. It's located in Staffordshire, except Alton Towers is located in Stoke-on-Trent, and I think Drayton Manor is located in Tamworth. I'm not sure, but either way, it looks like a bright future for Drayton Manor. And obviously, Looping Group has said they want it to be their flagship park, so the future is definitely very bright for Drayton Manor. So yeah, that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you'd like to see you in the next video. Bye!